Hey guys, it's Matt. I have a list of things that I want to make a video about, a stack of books, things to show you. I rarely get to it, or I'm way behind in getting to it because I wake up and I go to check on Duluth and Dubuque. And it just the headlines I get in a bad mood, and my mood has to match what I cover. There's just no way it can be forced. So I'm just so pissed off as you are, but I'm just going to rant about a few things. For example, per the comments of the last video, there were several people defending the text that's as people talk. The obnoxiously large words, the obnoxiously large words. They scroll beneath the person as they talk. There were people defending that. Well, Matt, in many platforms, the default is there's no sound anymore in video. Well, yes, most platforms have sound. That is the default. But see, here's what those people were missing. For many years, YouTube has had the closed caption, right? You aware of this? You just go to settings or whatever at the bottom, you hit the closed CC, and it's just a relatively unintrusive. Matt would be talking, and it might be a little delayed even. That's okay. It's not perfectly with the mouth. That's what this new AI giant magenta and green. It's not perfectly with the mouth. It's fucking annoying. Okay, the people that defended it, there's closed caption. You could just have Matt's talking, and it just says at the bottom. It's just in black and white. It's not intrusive. It's not fucking in your face. Sorry. I don't know anybody. There's something really not Nook about that weird shit. The words in big bold, and it has to be outlined in bold. And well, the people again, one last time to the people that commented in defense of it. What about just putting on a closed caption, or just some nice little words at the bottom? See, it is not Nook. Sorry, those that defended it. It's weird. Big, huge letters up in your face. Why not off to the side like this? Can you see this? Why not subtle? Why not? Should I be able to adjust? No, it gets, as I said in yesterday's video, it gets to a different part of the brain, and everything they do is a test and retest on the real spiritual being. Everything they do is just a sample, a little bit more information for their digital twinning. When I said I was looking at the headlines this morning, as I do, before every video when I remember, just to make sure something big didn't happen in the world that I need to talk about or we need to know about. I forgot to mention, I've told you this before, guys. Michael, who's no longer with us, he passed a little bit less than a year ago. He had some very insightful emails to me over many years. I told you about 100 people, an old guard, have really shaped my viewpoints many more in addition to just the people I mentioned, like Tony. At least 100 people I probably could call out by name if I sat long enough and told you what each one contributed. As I've mentioned many times, there's no original thought that comes from this vessel. This is an AI. This is an AI voice. People are giving me shit about. As long as the AI is here, they will always give me shit. I just got an email this morning that someone said something like, Matt, you're putting sneaky things in your. This email was a little strange. You're putting sneaky things in your videos. What? And he said something like, and you're mocking me in your videos. I don't even know who the person is. I'm sure. No offense if the person's watching. I'm sure I'll at some point make the connection. And then they said, I get a lot of this. Are you even real? I mean, come on. Yeah, the Not Milk 15 years ago, under the Texas Shrugged YouTube channel, 15 years ago, before anybody even knew the technology exists, they bought this house here in the Exton area outside Philadelphia, and they implanted a cyborg, an AI that they called Matt. There's nothing real about the person giving these presentations. And for 15 years, it's just been a big not test. He's sat here in a variety of different sweatshirts. This one's much nicer than most of them. And it's just to fool the truth, the truth research. I don't know where this shit comes from. But sorry, Michael had told me the most important part, and this is not a joke. He said, Matt, the headlines, like the CNN or BBC headlines or wherever you go, are far more sinister and evil than you can imagine. I don't know exactly how he put it. I know people saying Pootie Tang Award, Matt. We know it's a spell. But he said basically, okay, I know you cover headlines from time to time, but don't spend too much time on it. Remind people that, and I'm telling you, again, Michael, again, I don't know the extent of his abilities, and I never talked to him on the phone. I never met him, but he would tell me how he can see see to the other side. Again, I don't, who knows? See, he basically, when Violet passed, he said, Matt, she's fine. She's getting to where she needs to be. So Michael was, we have a lot of people here with a lot of different type of abilities, or I'm not going to, Michael had some very insightful things over the years, so I'm going to take his word for it until anybody tells me otherwise or proves otherwise. So he's saying that, in other words, I'm sorry to be so long-winded. When I go to these headlines in the morning, just to check on Duluth and Dubuque, again, to make sure nothing major's happened, and it does put me in a really, really horrible mood, and then it's like I want to just rant about things like I'm doing now. I'll get to some more comments, and I'm going to do this sort of video, some of the comments that came via yesterday's video, one in particular that I've got to make fun of or really rip into. If it's still, well, I took a screenshot of it, so either way I can find it. I have to just look to if Duluth and Dubuque are still there and there's no major, just look away and move on with what I was going to do, because there'll be a headline about Trump or something about James T. Kirk and Spock, and I'll read a little bit of it. And just like Michael said, it's really, really damaging. And we're still going to make fun of the headlines via the variety show. I think in that light, in that sense, like the headline yesterday of everybody in China trying to taking the holiday at the same time and all the highways shutting down. I think if we keep it really, really light and really, really a comedy show, comedic, and I don't think there's any harm in looking at the headlines if we do it in a certain way. So let me get back to the comment. I'll maybe find the comment that I really wanted to read to you, and we'll start with that first. Okay, here's the comment. I know it's small if you're on a phone. I'll read it to you in just a moment. This is from yesterday's video, which, remember, was the Fish in the Barrel variety show. The big segment was about the Chinese holiday, where all the highways shut down and all the airports or trains were all crowded for hours and hours, and then the Mark Sanchez debacle, where he was fighting with the 69-year-old guy trying to deliver vegetable oil. So he says, Matt, it's from Fonzie, Matt, it's not milk. Coincidences happen so much more than your mind can compute that you reject it. The world's a complicated place, Matt. The breadcrumbs you always talk about are just how things play out. You're connecting dots that aren't supposed to be connected, Matt. Nothing wrong with analyzing an event or pattern, but to think it's all BS is incorrect. Nothing's trying to distract you, Matt, from keeping you from your essence. Most people, wait, let me repeat that. Nothing's trying to distract you, Matt, to keep you from your essence. This person doesn't see not milk at all. Most people don't spend all day, every day, researching conspiracies anyway. That's a low blow, man. They're just busy with life. You're probably so isolated, loser, that you have nothing else to do other than to think the world is conspiring to distract you. Truth is, no one cares. You're not that important. No one is. Doesn't mean everything is. I'm really hurt. Let me collect my thoughts and come back in a minute. And pass me the tissues. Okay, one part of this comment actually proves my point. Thank you very much. Not many people, or I always said, people don't spend all day, every day, as you do probably, Matt, researching conspiracies. First off, I used to do that. when the world opened up to me and I went, something's not right here. Now I did spend all day. I spent thousands and thousands of hours looking just at the 7-Eleven job application, and just one, and thousands of many of us have been through it. I do it very selectively. Somebody sends me something interesting, something that could become a video, much more selective. But in the past, I did spend all day, every day. Look, with some exceptions, of course. I drank water. I took a shower from time to time. But the point is, so this went on for years, and many of us went through this. The point is, what sort of real world can produce that much conspiracy? That's one of the things, Fonzie, that gives reality away. If I'm able to, whether on Tuesday I'm doing the Loch Ness Monster and then Bigfoot, and then I'm going to do the 7-Eleven job application, then I'm going to look at JFK and why is Jackie's Chanel coat completely spotless from the waist up. I mean, there are then thousands of topics. There's so much conspiracy, so many rabbit holes, from the Titanic to just throw a dart, 1,000 Post-it notes. One could spend all day, every day, for the rest of their lives, following the endless rabbit holes or breadcrumbs or wherever these types of investigations lead to. Fonzie, no real world could do that. Where is all this endless conspiracy coming from? Which, as you said, if I could spend all day, every day, researching conspiracy, if the world was real and we're a planet floating through space and we came from a big bang, there'd be a few things that were kind of a mystery to look into every few years. But all day, every day, and then even if I did that, I wouldn't even get to 1/10 of what this fake world presents. So you must believe the world is, you're from Davenport, you must believe the world is very real. You probably believe in Mitch Pikachu, that we came from a big bang and we're floating through space and everything makes sense. It's just a coincidence. Where if I see the world as very fake, and if the world is very fake, it is rather easy to see that there's an evil actor here, something that is specifically designed per its role to get up in our business, to get up and distract us from spiritually what we're supposed to do here in life, to use it what it was actually supposed to be meant for. There's a spiritual adversary. I don't think you don't see that. I can see from your comment. You don't think there's no spiritual adversary. Even a Christian would call it Satan. I call it Knock. They calls it a Kaiser blade. I calls it a sling blade. Fonzie don't see no spiritual adversary. He's a coincidence theorist. It's just a coincidence, Matt. Look at the balloon boy. You think there's this not thing. A Christian would say Satan. Other religions would say there is an evil here that to get up in your business to distract you from what you're supposed to do, to maybe make the wrong choices and decisions. Fonzie's a coincidence theorist. A coincidence theorist. He says, this is a coincidence. But Matt, you loser, you had nothing to do all day. You just research this stuff. So Matt, it looks like the world is conspiring against you. Is that how you explain things like an inflated tire at the bottom? I've been good. I haven't talked about this for almost a year, where I brought it up every single video for 6 months straight. You remember those days? There's an inflated tire. It was like the 4,000 degree. So planes, trains, and automobiles, fireballs, and collapsing. There's paper passports and inflated tires. I told you once. I saw Pam hit. They used to put those big concrete slabs at the front of parking spots for some reason. Now you could just park freely and go forward. In the 70s and 80s, for some reason, nobody could ever figure out to this day. It's one of the biggest mysteries in life. Why these giant concrete things so I guess so you don't go too far into the other spot, but it just caused a lot of problems. People thought they could go forward, they go over top of it. Pam hit one once, and just at 15 miles, no, 7 or 8 miles an hour, she was pulling into a parking spot, didn't know that they were there, because most places have gotten rid of them, and the tire just went. There's not a gigantic difference between an aircraft tire and a car tire. Well, obviously, an extra inch or so of rubber, of Goodyear rubber, so it can survive multiple landings. But I'm talking about to go through a 4,000 degree fireball, There's not there's not a lot of difference. One isn't a refractory tire. So this, I guess, Fonzie, I could sit here and bring up thousands and thousands of not coincidences, things that are just almost should be impossible, things that almost anybody should be able to see through. Like laughing parents the day after they lost the little one, the day after the what laughter at the podium wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. They tried to make it look good. Which one should I do? Should I do Mike or Robbie Bibby? Robbie Bibby? Robbie? Okay. All right. Okay. Ready? Go. My name is Robbie Bibby. I'm one of the parents who yesterday lost a. You lost a little one yesterday? What are you doing at a podium, sir? Shouldn't you be making funeral arrangements or something? Fonzie, it's a coincidence theory. Matt, there's a lot of stuff that happens in this life. To think, look at the balloon boy, to think things are conspiring to get in your spiritual way. You know what? He's convinced me. I'm going to shut down the entire channel. I'm going to delete this video immediately, delete everything, call Rob, wipe out Free Voice. Basically, there'll be no trace of me by tomorrow morning. Thank you, Fonzie. What am I going to do now? I have no idea. But I don't know. I guess I'll probably put my application back into the liquor store. Look what popped up again when I went to the web this morning. What's new in Chrome is the first tab that comes up. As I've said many times, there's not one person in the history of the world from when the web was first created by Al Gore that ever was interested to see, oh, wow, this is awesome. Honey, come here. Let's look what's new in our browser. Nobody's ever looked. Talk about, from the comment from the last video, nobody cares. This is the definition of it. Nobody cares. I get your Bing browser is updated. Don't tell me. Just update it and stay in the background. Get out of my face. Shut up. I don't care if it's up. Just keep it up to date. I don't need to know. This is bullshit. Guys, I'll get back to the regularly scheduled rant in just a moment and we'll do more comments. But I'm with Fonzie on this. This is just a coincidence, but this is unbelievable. I just mentioned the liquor store. There's Mark Sanchez. Oh, what's going on? Just Jason Whitlock channel pops up. I watch some of his stuff from time to time about sports. Again, fine, righteous truthers. Go ahead, get all over me. The top. LeBron James trolls sports world with brown liquor stereotype. With brown... You guys, old guard, you know the story. Remember, when I worked at the liquor store, which I just happened to mention, you got brown liquor? I would work, they'd keep, it was till 9 o'clock, I guess, the store. And between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock is Exton, Pennsylvania State, wine and spirit shop. I guess I worked there in 2018. You get some weird people wandering in to buy liquor before it closed. And who knows, they were going to go out and do something till midnight or whatever, on a Monday or a Tuesday. And I told you, this real young, but, he could buy, we got carded, 21, 22, really skinny black kid, came, just reeked of pot, had been smoking pot just seconds before entering the store, breathed it in my face, got real close to me, and said, I thought it was one of the funniest things I ever heard. I didn't know what he was talking about. You got brown liquor? I knew there are thousands of bottles back there that were brown. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what brown, from what Jason Whitlock is a black guy, brown liquor stereotype. Hennessy, that's associated with a young black man. I don't know. I'm just some white guy. What's he talking about, brown liquor? Well, the wine's dark red. I don't know what do you mean? You want me to take you back and shop by the color of the liquor? He meant, he meant stuff for him. Well, I should have said, sir, look around. This is a gigantic Pennsylvania wine and spirit shop with thousands and thousands of different brands and bottles. I think you've got something here for you, sir. Now put the pot down, put your big joint down, and go buy. I don't know. And he kind of wandered away. He didn't come back to my counter to check out. I was doing the cash register at the time. But I told you the story. I thought it was the funniest thing of all time. And I didn't know until now what he was talking about. You got brown liquor. Now we know. Here's a comment from T.Y. Gorton. Now, some of these comments are good comments. I know you're old guard or you've been here forever. I've seen many of your comments. Ty Gorton. I'm not like going to rip everybody I put up here. No, you're probably old guard. This is pretty interesting here. And one thing I had forgotten related to another comment. Let me just read it, Matt. Amusing fish in a barrel story. Elon Musk got in hot water with Israel not long ago. Went on the humiliation camp in Poland where they kept people tour. Yesterday, Musk/Tesla held a surprise event on October 7th, the exact day that is presented as the surprise Hamas attack on Israel. Just an innocent coincidence, not a not-milk hearty har. Well, and then another comment reminded me of something else that happened, and I had forgotten about the paragliders. The attack was initiated by a really ruthless squadron of Red Baron Snoopy paragliders. Remember, this is what they told us. It was so ridiculous and so unbelievable. I had cleared it out of my mind, like I cleared away the bong resin from Penn State. Paragliders came over from Gaza and West Bank. But Fonzie doesn't see this. Everything's just a coincidence, and to Fonzie, everything's real. To us and to many of us here in the Old Guard, the whole reality itself is such a ridiculous reality breakdown, such a farce, that it is metaphysically a wake-up tool. That's what it is. It's so ridiculous that paragliders could come in when we're told Israel has on-par capabilities as the United States in terms of surface-to-air missiles, drones, advanced weaponry, radar systems, whatever, that's what it was called in the 40s. Who knows what they have now. There were, if anything were real, there were tens of thousands of things in Israel available to, let's just say, shoot down paragliders. As I said, and this is all coming back to me, I remember saying, if just Greg and I, not book us into the room, if Greg and I knew it was coming and you armed us the right way with the right type of weaponry, like a mounted 50 cal or whatever, Greg and I could have held back the paragliders. I'm not joking. Greg and I, probably after a few beers. But Israel with $100 billion infrastructure. Oh, come on. I mean, do I have to keep talking? Oh my God, here it is. I had completely forgotten about this bullshit. What happened in the Tel Aviv Center, you think? The Tel Aviv Center, they have their version of the Pentagon there, right? They got their $100 billion Pentagon, whatever they call it, in the Tel Aviv Center. Sir, we've got blips. We got blip. Blip, these blips are popping up everywhere, crossing over the sacred borders, the sacred walls. Blip, blip, blip. Not that wall. Nobody's whaling here, sir. It's the other walls where we keep out the animals. Oh, they're coming over that wall. How are they getting over? Are they climbing over? No, sir. According to these blips, blip, blip, blip. They're paragliding in. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Sir, we have roughly a $800 billion military infrastructure. Well, we can't use that. I don't know. Call Matt and Greg. Get them 10-gauge shotguns or something. I don't know. Get our team. Hand out guns to the wet nurses on the beach. A team of wet nurses on the beach could have repelled this attack. You think? Do I sound like I'm joking? But maybe they could have sent out the multi-billion-dollar arsenal to take apart Fonzie, reality itself is a truck and tractor pull wake-up mechanism. It breaks down exponentially year after year. It's not coincidences, Fonzie. Reality itself is designed to break down. So a few of us wake up to it. You apparently aren't awake to it, Fonzie. Here's a comment from Lurch Pop. And again, to Fonzie and Lurch Pop, don't take your ball and go home. Just take this the right way. Give it back to me. I can take it. Come on. It's all for fun. I appreciate it, everybody that's here. Matt, they do the transcription, the big words underneath with the AI matching the lips. They do the transcription because videos don't autoplay with sound anymore. The transcription allows you to see what they're saying with sound off. Well, Pootie Tang Award on the back end, what do I say? Videos don't play with sound. I mean, maybe on a certain specific platform, but yeah, videos do still play with sound. They're not just automatically turning the sound off. But see, again, I remind you, they had for, I don't know, like 10 years maybe, they had the closed caption. So see, this isn't anything new. The closed caption was subtle black and white, like I said before, and these are giant in your face letters, like right up over the person's face sometimes of who's talking. One is a really strange, obnoxious presentation of words, and the closed caption is something that's kind of subtle. I don't understand, like the people making these comments, it's like they never heard of the closed caption system that's been around forever on YouTube. Less than a minute on this comment real quick because I feel the same way as Calvin. He says something else stinks of Not Milk Sewage is the side camera angle that people use. It pisses me off. It's so creepy. He's saying, this has been going on for a while, but it is strange. Where somebody's beginning the narration on a documentary, and then they go to the camera off to the side, and they just show the side of his face talking to the. What's the point of that? I don't get the sinister feeling though, Calvin, with that. It's just stupid and it doesn't make any sense. Like I don't want to see somebody off to the side and look. I'm looking in their ear. You got a big ball of earwax in there, dude. I don't need to see that. It's not sinister. It's just pointless and dumb. There were a decent amount of comments regarding the subtitles and many defending it, but some Major League Pootie Tang Award winners like the gigantic text. It's so you can watch the slop. I like how that's put, by the way. It's so you can watch the slop without sound on. It's so you can watch without sound. I had no idea. What is that? Isn't that what the closed? But I'll say, Matt, you're going to say it again. Isn't that what the closed caption features for in the bottom? See, then that's not what it's about. Then, if I can click the closed caption, either way, this is a gigantic, massive Pootie Tang Award winner, and it qualifies you as a Pootie Tang Award winner finalist. Remember the beginning of Big Lebowski? The dude was one of the laziest men in all of Los Angeles County, which qualifies him automatically as one of the laziest men in the world. If you get this sort of Pootie Tang Award, you will go for the Pootie Tang Major Award winner, which we do at year's end. This is a good point, Rick. I didn't even mention this yesterday. He says, I'm not buying the Mark Sanchez story. It's when he, climbed into the cab of the truck and the guy had to stab him off. And now he's not behind bars, Mark Sanchez. He's in the hospital because he was stabbed, soon to be behind bars. He's known for the butt fumble also. I forgot. Yeah, I just forgot to mention it. It's just weird that the butt fumble is is one of the most embarrassing plays in NFL history. For those that don't know, Sanchez decides to run forward. He runs in the back of a big, huge offensive lineman, basically bounces off his butt, loses the ball. It's really not. It was made into, for some reason. See, is this Not Milk coming in? It was made into a much bigger deal. It was much more world famous for a decade than it should have been. It was an embarrassing fumble, but that was not commensurate with how famous it became. So is it part of? Do we have people like Mark Sanchez that literally were designed to play out the Not Milk script over many decades? And so is it a coincidence? Does that mean he's definitely going to be found convicted and guilty? He had the butt fumble, then he's going to go off to jail and get his butt fumbled. This is the way the Not Milk generally does business. I know many of you, to Fonzie, it's all coincidence. And Lynn, who I spoke to yesterday, the world we disagree in a few areas. The world is far less real to me than it is to Lynn. She's going to either rub off on me or I'm going to rub off on her. Not in that way. We've never even met. I will try to, Lynn, if you want, email me. I'll say your YouTube name. I'm not saying that now, but I'm going to try to convince you the world is not quite as real as you think it is, and that's very hard to do when somebody is incredibly smart. This person's IQ is double mine, and somebody that's so smart that they actually sometimes have trouble seeing the illusion, how fake everything is, because they're so good at figuring everything out. Anyway, we'll get back to that. Okay, Shino says here, Matt, I have a topic. What do you think about one person saving the world? I'm talking about just a broad topic or scenario. Do you think it could happen? Do you think one person could defeat the Not Milk? If so, how would it be possible? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's that. Okay, well, you proposed the topic, Shino. I can close this topic in about 30 seconds. This entire channel, which is my belief set, is just the opposite. Do you think one person can save the world? I think it's the opposite of that. One person has to save herself or himself. Saving the world, or the carrot that things here will be fixed and we'll march all the Hillary Clintons off to jail, or Trump will come in and drain the swamp, or whatever your belief is that somebody's going to fix something, that is perhaps the biggest trick of this entire reality. It gets you outside yourself to participate in politics and movements, and all part of the trick. You are here to fix yourself. This is absolutely. What do you think about this scenario? I think it's the major trick of this reality, and it's the exact opposite of what this entire channel is about. Nevertheless, thank you for your comment. Oh no, I like the name though. Throws rocks, ROX. I like that. I and my family all watch with these sorts of subtitles, Matt. This is where you're wrong, Matt. It's helping my children learn to read. We watch you with the AI YouTube subtitles. I'm surrounded by noise. Okay, a small comment, but there's a lot here. Could probably do an hour-long video. Okay, let me just give you two different inflections on where you emphasize this is where you're wrong, Matt. This is where you're wrong, Matt. Or you say,
this is step aside. This is where you're wrong, Matt.
See, there's two different inflections, and when I make a presentation, the inflection of my voice sometimes carries certain meaning, or it might help make things easier to understand, or more funny, or less funny if it doesn't work. The inflection in the way I say things is very important to my presentation. So I'm not sure how this channel works if you're turning the voice off. See, so on your AI, you're watching me, you're listening to this now, you got the AI, the big words coming up. I just gave two inflections on this is where you're wrong, Matt.
Just a step aside. This is where you're wrong, Matt.
Now, that's not a great example, but I do those sorts of things. How can you possibly pick up the inflection that I'm intending with those big, obnoxious subtitles, sir? I don't get it. If it's helping your kid read, well, that's great. Do you think that's what the Not Milk intended? Do you think that's what Google intended? We need to do this to help kids read. Reading is fundamental. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Do you think it did that for that reason? No. If you're using it for that reason, that's wonderful. I have a date with Lisa tonight. Isn't that wonderful? That's great. But that joke, whatever, it wasn't very funny what I just did, but some people will relate that to Coming to America. Matt, you've done that 1,000 times. It's not funny if it's just words coming up. How are you even keeping subscribed to this channel? It's no good. This comment regarding the Chinese traffic jams from yesterday, and come to think of it, they don't even got no government shutdown over there, and they still got all jammed up with the transit system. That government can never shut down because it's not part of the one world system, Matt. It's on its own. They make their own communist decisions. I'm sorry, I'll shut the whole channel down. In China, people don't holiday like the rest of the world, not taking a chunk of time of when you want and it is convenient for you. All subjects must take their holiday allowance during the national holiday days only. Hence, everyone is on holiday together. Well, I didn't stress this in the video. Good, thank you for pointing this out. But it wasn't the point of what I was saying yesterday. Whether this is true or not, and I'm sure you're right, and I certainly didn't talk about it or stress it. I certainly wasn't that aware of it. I had heard things about this. I'm no expert on China. The point is, and I alluded to the fact that people should know it's going to be busy during certain times. And what sort of a person, take that the way you want to take that, would still go out and engage in that sort of, who would take to a highway knowing you could be stuck out there for 8 to 10 hours? Who would take to a train station knowing it's going to be hours and hours and hours, and if there's any sort of blip or any sort of hiccup in the infrastructure of the system, then you're looking at 20 hours or 40 hours. Who would participate in it? Only somebody that's on some sort of a download, only some sort of weird individual, some sort of strange entity. That was my point. Anybody normal would say, knowing this is the only day to take the holiday or not, I'd say, I'm taking the holiday in my house. I'm going to do a little thing of shumai here by myself with my dog, and I'm going to enjoy that. That was the whole point. I wouldn't. Nobody says they have to go participate in it. Yet they're all in the download like zombies, and they do go out and participate in it. Someone could almost predict, no matter how bad it gets on the highway, they'll still go out and do it. That was my point. We're dealing with some strange population here. Next comment. I think they push the text thing, the subtitle text thing. They push it to help the AI log transcripts and knowledge into the abysmal eye. Not bad. I don't have much to add to this, and this is said in a very unique way as well. And Ulf, sir, can I adopt that? For a small stipend or a small TM amount, can I adopt that into my presentations? The abysmal eye. See, we had the third eye. I guess we all have that here. Real spiritual beings in this place are said to have the third eye. And then you have the covering of the one eye or right eye symbolism. But if it's the AI gobbling up knowledge for itself and its eventual takeover, it's the abysmal eye. Ulf, if there's a small stipend or something I can pay for use of that trademarked word, please, I love it. Thank you very much for this great comment. Now, looking at the name who left this comment, I don't want to piss this person off. Tired Iron Repair. I could potentially get an iron slab for one of my stoves. I don't want this person and the eye. Lose the eye, man. It's just. See, it's not like we should run from anything that they do, but see, they do it all the time. So I'm not going to come out here like Matt33, even though I say don't run from it. So lose the eye, dude. But I have to just start off with oh no. Look at the comment. Don't take your ball and go home. Take this the right way. I need to get an iron slab from you for one of my stoves. But Matt, one of the main reasons for our wars is simply to destroy the old world evidence of an advanced civilization that built all the Tartarian wonders, tunnels, and World's Fair architecture, erasing history to keep us from catching on. I do actually think that's true. No sarcasm at all. Look, Tired Iron Repair. I can't do this whole video now, but this is a trick of reality itself. I've been there. Trust me, I've been through the impossible architecture. You remember all the old videos. How they build that shit? We've been there. It's just this reality plays a variety of different tricks at a variety of different levels. It's supernatural in nature. Lynn, it can't all be explained. We're going to work on you, Lynn. We're going to get that out of you. It can't all be explained, no matter how smart you are. We'll do a whole video on this. This is just the old guard can see what sort of a inserted truth or narrative this is. Oh, inherited buildings. Come on. It's just a phase we all go through. I guess I'm not going to be able to refute it now, just doing one comment at a time. And maybe I sound like an asshole. I'm sorry. I'll do a whole video on this. Once you step back far enough, you can see this is just another trick of reality. Even though you could walk up to the structure and in the Philadelphia City Hall, I've been there and I put my hands on it and oh boy, it's heavy, Matt, so it's much more real than your interview with a vampire, and it's all part of the reality trick. That's a cop-out, Matt. Just pulling that out your ass every time, that ain't good enough, Matt. This person has put the effort in. They can show you that this stuff can't be built today, even with modern equipment. They can show you to a degree how some of it was intended to be covered up, or certain buildings, with the story they give you in New York City, the beautiful building was only up 12 years before they knocked it down. Yes, the reality is very good and adept at that sort of stuff. So as you research it, the reality gives you more information that lines up with what you want to believe, with what you expect to find. That's part of the reality trick. I can't do it here now. I don't want to make enemies with this person that I can get some iron from or something. And I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but this is just a phase of reality. You got to come out. You got to come out of this phase, sir. This Tartaria mud flood stuff. We all been there. We came out of it, and you can too. Thanks everybody for being here. I'll see you back here at the same Bat channel, but likely a different Bat Matt time.